Hey guys, welcome back to Coin Knowledge. So we'll be covering a project in the gaming sector, which obviously we are bullish on this channel, but we know that a lot of gaming projects alongside the overall market has been getting hammered here over the last 30 days. But again, before we go any further, just realize that this is not a video telling you guys to go buy this project. This is more of an update video keeping you guys in the loop of projects that are still building, especially during the downtrend that we're seeing in the markets across the board right now. So as always, if you guys get value out of the video and the content here, if you guys could like the video, subscribe to the channel, support does mean a lot. So we take a look at the gaming sector. I mean, again, highlighting the fact that, almost every project, not just gaming, but in the market is down. But we take a look at gaming just in the last 7 days. I mean, we have stuff like Immutable X, essentially, one of the sector leaders of the gaming sector, down underneath a billion, which, sorry, this is nuts. I mean, that's bear market levels, down beneath a billion. Sandbox is down. We see stuff like Ronin down, under half a billion. Beam down, beneath 300 million, which we have not seen this ever. I think this is a new low for Beam's market cap. I mean, this thing launched at about 350 million, so quite insane to see. So just realize that the overall sector Superverse down to 200 million is down here. But the project I want to cover is Karrat. Now, I know every time we do cover Karrat, I do get the response in the questions, the comments down below, wondering, why is Karrat going down? Well, again, you have to realize one, gaming hasn't been running. Karrat has still yet to see a gaming run. We know that Karrat TGE'd and I believe late April, early May of 2024. And the last time we saw gaming truly run was Q1, a little bit into Q2, that February, March kind of time frame of 2024, which again was before Karrat even TGE'd. So that is a big reason. Also, we have seen some dilution in unlocks, which we'll get into towards the end of the video. But again, this is not a video saying to go buy Karrat, just more of an update, highlighting the fact that they are still building and making huge announcements. Now we take a look at, My Pet Hooligan, obviously the flagship game within the Karrat ecosystem. Now this is something that I've been telling you guys for the longest time here that they've been hinting at. If you've been kind of been reading between the lines with them and seeing and picking up the hints that they've been dropping, throughout the way, I've been telling you guys to expect, the My Pet Hooligan game to be hitting consoles here. Now, there is only a few handful of games, in the crypto space, Web3 game that's actually hitting consoles, mainstream consoles. I don't want to say it's easy, but it's more popular and, less potential barriers for projects to get listed on stuff like Epic Games for PC or have a native launcher. But for a project in the Web3 space to actually be getting on a mainstream console like Xbox is huge because right now, and it has been this way for months now, a little over half a year. It feels maybe half a year at this point. Off the Grid is it. That's really about the only Web3 game that is on consoles. And now we do have other games in the space like Haunted Space coming out of the Avalanche ecosystem that we've talked about in the past as well, coming to consoles as well that they've announced. But this is an official announcement. And what's crazy here is that you can actually go to the Xbox store. I just did it on my Xbox. You can go to the Xbox store, you can type in My Pet Hooligan, and you can wishlist the game, put it on your list. Now, it obviously doesn't have a date. It says unavailable as far as purchasing it, but it is on there, which is what we saw with Off the Grid initially. So quite, bullish here. Again, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I do highlight every time we do talk about Karrat because obviously it has been, a long time favorite of mine. I still hold a position in Karrat, full disclosure. Yes, I am down. Before I get those comments, I am down like anyone who has bought in Karrat in the past. Again, not just Karrat alone. We'll look at that here in a little bit, but any gaming project. Again, I think it's important to highlight here before those comments start lighting up down below. But either way, interesting and quite bullish to see My Pet Hooligan coming to Xbox. I think that is another mainstream game. When we talk about big Web3 games, kind of bridge that gap. You guys have known my stance has been obviously Off the Grid, and My Pet Hooligan has been right up there with one of those top tier Web3 games that actually could be launching on console. And here we have the official announcement of that happening. Now, obviously, that's not the only update. Since we last covered Karrat, they have been building out more, putting out more updates, been building a little bit more of their ecosystem along with their studio chain, as we know that Karrat did move from not only just, My Pet Hooligan, even though that is their flagship game, but also going into this more studio infrastructure play as well. They also focus on AI in gaming, a lot with their AI technology. They have still those top tier partnerships with stuff like Palantir and Nvidia in the space. Now, a lot of people do wonder, is that going to be important? Well, me personally, one, I'm still, mega bullish on gaming in 2025 and long term as a whole. But also, I still do believe that there is going to be that merge, that crossover between projects that blend AI and AI gaming into their ecosystem. And we also do know that they've mentioned, kind of like, again, we caught early on little rumors and announcements of, coming to console. They've also kept talking about, burning. And I believe they actually did make that official as well. So as far as announcements and updates coming out of Karrat and their project and the ecosystem, again, they keep putting it here as well. So again, we see the conversation here going on with the bird also. So still building on the project forefront, and that's what you want to see as well. Now they could have kept this announcement obviously for more of a bullish market condition, and would that have been favorable? Maybe, but I do think they're going to keep the launch potentially for a little bit more favorable conditions as well, just like off the grid is. I mean, let's be honest, they're probably ready to launch, but they're just probably keeping that as well. Now we take a look at the project, again, blending AI and gaming. We're not going to get too much into the weeds here as far as a deep dive, because you guys know, if you've been around for the channel at any amount of time, you guys know that we've covered Karrat extensively because, again, for me, I think a lot of people do write it off because of the price action. But when you look at it fundamentally, again, this is what we talk about here recently, especially. We've been highlighting this a lot as the market has been down. If you get into a position, if your thesis, for an example, again, not saying any, obviously not financial advice, but just as an example, if you get into something like Karrat, Hooligan, obviously take a look at the unlocks like anything else. But also, if your plan to get into that is in a gaming run, I could see this do this, then let that plan form. Now, has there been a gaming run? Like I've been telling you guys every time we've covered, Karrat? No, there has not been. Has the market been, again, in a more bullish sentiment climate for the overall altcoin market? Not really. We've seen different narratives like memes, AI agents, specifically AI agents, but for the overall altcoin market, not a whole lot. So again, realize that the plan really hasn't formed yet. So am I still bullish on Karrat? Definitely. Again, my conviction level hasn't necessarily changed just because of price action alone. Again, gaming hasn't been hot really at all throughout Karrat, the tokens lifespan. Obviously, the team's been building for years before then, and they're still building and making these big announcements as well. Again, we actually have full, announcement and actually the game listed on the Xbox Store. It is off the grid, and now My Pet Hooligan. That is it. So that is a huge milestone. I just wanted to highlight to you guys here as well. Obviously, if you do want to play the game today, it has been free on Epic Games for a long time now. About, I want to say, maybe coming up on a year here in a couple months. I think somewhat. So we also have gameplay on the channel. Obviously, you guys can find that. Now, when we look back at the price action, again, it's doing kind of neutral today off the announcement, but realize that everything else is essentially bleeding. But when we take a look at it, it's under 10 cents here. Now, admittedly, full disclosure, I did not think that we'd see Karrat get to these levels at all. I mean, we've seen it in the past get to 40 cents, 30 cents, a little even beneath 30 cents. But, I mean, really, when we look over at the 1 year, again, TGE'd, I mean, it's going to be a month or a year here in about a month, but, late April, and then it shot up to over a dollar, a dollar, dollar 17 here or $1.27 at the all-time highs. And obviously, as we went in towards the end of Q4 of 2024, it was bleeding out a little bit, like a majority of gaming altcoins, getting around 25 cents here. And then it did get a little bit of life, went down, and we see at the December pump, the election pump here as well. It was getting, life. It was responding well, got to 70 cents. And then we obviously know the rest of what happened. And again, I don't want to do any of those like I told you so's, but if you guys do recall, I told you guys right here when Bitcoin did shoot up rapidly after the, election. I told you guys for a long time now that it was completely on the cards for the market to take a huge dump like this for Bitcoin to return back to those pre-election levels. So it's not totally surprising, but I think with most people, I would not have imagined, if you would have asked me at that time period, if altcoins, especially gaming altcoins, would have taken such a hit that they have. I would not have foreseen it. Now, one thing to mention, we'll come back to this here in a little bit. When we look at Karrat here, yes, they still have monthly unlocks right now, so they have their next unlock coming up here soon. As we see, they're starting to go into a bunch of different allocations here. Now, if we take a look, they still do those monthly unlocks on the 18th, but still, I mean, between now and the end of 2025, I think it's about a little under a 2x in dilution. So as far as dilution goes overall throughout the year, it's not terrible, but just realize that they do monthly unlocks as well. So there is going to be a potential selling pressure. As you know, it is coming from the team, advisors, early, buyers as well. So just realize that there is going to be some of that sell pressure as well. That is something worth mentioning. But when we look at it at an evaluation level, at $18 million in market cap, even with an FTV at 85 million, for what Karrat is building, you have to remember that they're not just building My Pet Hooligan. They also have the AI side of their ecosystem. They have their studio chain, more of an infra play. And I'll say it again, I think in a gaming run, I'm doing air quotes here, but just realize that that is very important. In a gaming run, I still do expect Karrat to do, to perform quite well, especially from these levels. Again, when we look at their exchange listings, they have tier one exchange listings. I mean, they have Coinbase. I think they launched on Coinbase. They have crypto.com, a couple tier three, tier twos as well. So when we look at it from that perspective, they still get decent volume and they're making these big announcements like coming to Xbox. I still remain bullish on Karrat. Again, I am aware in the comment section that the sentiment might not be the same, but I'll say it again, as I always do say, take the price action aside. Fundamentally, is the project done? Is it not building? I get the comment sometimes too of it's rugged. Well, that couldn't be farther from the truth. I mean, obviously, it is building. It's making these big partnerships. It's still partnered with stuff like Superverse as well. It still just keeps building every single day. It is building throughout the time period. Now, if these guys had just put their, I guess for lack of pun or term, because rabbits have tails, but if they just put their tails between their legs and just hid in the corner until gaming ran again, that'd be a different story. But these guys are actually still building, and they were building long before they TGE'd and hit the market as well. I just think that one, initial unlocks and also gaming, not running has really been a big hindrance. But again, look at a lot of gaming projects; they're down heavily, and these are just on 7 days. You pull up any of these charts, I mean, some of these are down 50, 60%. Top tier projects are down 50, 60% on the 30-day as well. If we look at something like Echelon Prime, which I'm extremely bullish on, look at the 1 month, down 50%. So just realize that it's not just, if you're looking at any of your favorite altcoins, gaming or not, just because the price action is down doesn't mean that the project is fundamentally dead or anything like that. If you had conviction on it when you got into that position, this is just an overall thesis. If you had conviction on it when you got in and you had a plan, ask yourself, has that plan formed? Has it happened or not? So as an example, a gaming altcoin, has gaming ran? No. If you had other factors to weigh in there, then think about it. Now, again, this is not a video saying to go buy Karrat. Obviously, it is a low cap gaming altcoin. Gaming is not running. We're seeing gaming coins continue to bleed. This could definitely bleed. They have an unlock here in about a week. So this could definitely go down further, even though, again, personally, I did not think it would come down to these levels. So I do think it's personally a value proposition to potentially keep on your watch list and see where this does eventually find a floor at, where this market could go. Now, obviously, things could turn around whenever, but even though I do think we still have quite a bit of chop left in the next couple months personally, but I still remain bullish on 2025. I still think that gaming is going to run at some point in 2025. Call me crazy or not, that is my conviction. That is a bet I'm willing to personally take. As always, guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of either crypto gaming as a whole? Are you still bullish or bearish on it? What do you think of Karrat? Is it something that you still have conviction in or not? Or if not, let me know in a positive way. I'll be happy to have a conversation down below and answer any questions. And as always, hopefully you guys got value out of the video. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch the video, especially in the volatile, downtrend that we're in right now. I appreciate you guys showing up here and watching it. If you guys got value out of it at all, if you guys could like the video, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share the video. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, see you guys.